Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Virtually Backstage. Joining me this evening, all the way from Florida, USA, is the wonderful Charlie Pace. Charlie, thank you for joining me this evening. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very, very good. Very, very good. We were having a quick discussion about the weather and decided that Florida and Greece aren't that far off when it comes to weather this time of year. Really
Very
cool.
close.
So Charlie, we've got you here tonight. Charlie was the winner of Music Expo UK's video contest. Many congratulations for winning that. It was a great achievement there, but by far not your greatest. So, I mean, I didn't even know where to start. You're just 17 years old, and you've already got 2 singles released. The first of which was released when you were 15, but you wrote it when you were 14. We're going to come to that a bit later. I want to start from the very beginning. You started very, very young with music. And I'd like to know, like, what were your influences, your early influences in music? What got you started? What got your eyes wide and wanted to make you sing?
It's a really good question. Well, I started watching burlesque at a really young age, which, if you don't know, is like Christina Aguilera and Cher, and they're dancing around stage. And I have a live session that's going to come out very soon where I sing one of those songs. But that was a really big influence. And then I was always surrounded by music. Jimmy Buffett on the pool deck. It's my dad's jam all the time. But for me now, it's a lot of rock music. It's got like Hayley Williams and Paramore and the Foo Fighters, Nirvana, just that stuff. But also I can be inspired by a lot of blues and Motown and just anything I can get my hands on. I love. No genre is the limit.
Good stuff. That's great. Yeah, that's my favorite way as well. Much the same. It's my favorite and worst question to be asked is like, what's my favorite music, or what's my favorite band? I can't do it. Can you?
For the past few years, it's been Paramore because Hayley Williams is just such a good front woman.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're into that, then you should check out some similar bands then that you might really enjoy. And the name is just disappeared from me right now. If I think of it later, I'm going to tell you. But there's one band in particular that just came to me that was like, yeah, you'd love her. She's amazing. But yeah, I mean, my follow-up question to that was going to be your current influences, but you've gone right into that for me. So that's great. Thank you so much. And what about other outside influences, like apart from music? Like, did you just feel it one day that it was coming out of you? Did you see something? Did something make you just feel music?
Well, ever since I was little, everywhere I went, I was just like tapping and singing and just anywhere, anytime. And everything I've ever loved has been watching performances. So my earliest memory was being in the back seat as like a 5-year-old little girl singing like this song called Tough Lover, which is from burlesque. And my mom turned around, she's like, "You have the radio on back there?" I'm like, "Nope." And so since then, it's just been, this is what I love to do. And I realized that since I was wee little person.
I totally feel you. So I want to talk about the first single that you released. Like we said, I've mentioned before that you read that when you were just 14 years old, and it was released like a year later, called Blue Eyes. Yeah, she's got the shirt on as well. And I believe you drew that, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I drew most of the art behind me too. I don't know if you can see some,
wow.
But yeah, my whole.
Nice. So you're just an artist through and through, right? Just everything, music and drawing and the whole lot. That's fab.
Anything I can do, anywhere.
That's a true creator. That's absolutely awesome. So tell me a bit about the song. Like, how did it come to you? How did you write?
Well, first Blue Eyes was about a dude, of course, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of lame. I don't really want to write about a dude because I'm like this big, strong, independent woman. But it started to become a really big metaphor for just wanting acceptance in life from people.
Yeah.
But the person Blue Eyes is still out there, and he knows who he is, and he fully
Okay.
supports me. So
Oh, that's so he's all right then. We like him.
yeah. So yeah, and the words in it, which is kind of cool, and I thought I might want to mention it. I was the vocabulary word endeavor, 14 years old. Everybody's like, how do you know that? Well, my teacher, Miss Feiner, she would give us vocabulary quizzes and like make it really interesting with all these vocab words. And so in a lot of my earlier work, there's some really random put in vocab words that I would just hold on to and write. And
it's so cool that you've got into it so long, because so early, because I think I never appreciated my English teachers in school. I never appreciated what they were teaching us, and it's only when I didn't start writing until I was a lot older. And now, like, when I'm having to like hack through my mind's thesaurus to try and find the right word for that particular thing that I want to say in a song and how it fits, like, I wish I'd listened more in my English classes. I really did. Like, it's really so much. I wish I'd done it like sooner, when I still had that fresh in my mind and I could tell myself to sit in those lessons and listen. So that's really cool that you've got that fresh in your mind, and you've got those teachers there to help you as well if you are writing something, I guess. Do you get to do stuff in school like writing, like creative writing and stuff like that?
well, when I used to go into in-person school, which now I do all online, but I had this teacher named Miss Chimmel, and I could write songs about the books for our projects. So I would read the book and I would write one. And there's a song on my next upcoming album called Do You Love Me So, about this book of Three Little Words. And she absolutely loved it. And I got an A. Not only that, but I also wrote about Odysseus too, and that. And yeah, she would let me do that type of thing. And my science teacher did too. I had to sing about like cells. It's really interesting.
Why not? Music's a great way, actually, and it's used a lot in teaching, particularly younger children. You know, as I used to do some teaching to small kids, English teaching, and music is like the key. And the greatest way to teach a language is through songs. So that's what I used all the time, and it could be from kiddie songs to the Rolling Stones. It didn't matter. Like, I'd use absolutely anything that had a good vocabulary in it. Beatles are fantastic. And you know, music is a great way to learn, and I think we kind of lost that a bit. So it's great that your teachers were supporting that. Yeah, that's so cool. So
Yeah,
tell me a
really.
little bit before we go into your next song. I want to know about what you foresee in your future, or what your dream is. What's your dream goal?
My goal is to be able to tour and have, you know, a few more than just like 5 of my very close friends show up. I don't want to be like crazy famous or anything. That's never the goal. I just want to be able to like play music for the rest of my life and like do what I love without having to worry about my world collapsing at any moment, which I bet I'll have some moments like that. But my main goal is just to be able to make art and have other people enjoy it and be inspired the same way I was inspired by it growing up.
That's fantastic. That's a good goal to have. So that's the goal. What about the dream?
Dream.
Should you know, there be no limits. You know, where would you like to be? Or do you see yourself on like a huge stadium stage, you know, with 100,000 people screaming your name? You know, is that a dream?
My dream is like having a rock band and people just like the way that I idolize Paramore. I want them to idolize me like I do that band. And I wish that one day that would happen and people would be like, oh my God, I want to be just like her.
Yeah. You
So
know,
that's my
there's going to be people out there that will look at you already, maybe younger girls, even boys, even perhaps older girls and boys from around the world that will look at you, and they'll see interviews like this, and they'll hear about your story, and they'll listen to your music, and they're going to think that already. I think that's quite a lot to take on. They're like, oh my God, I want to be just like her. There's going to be people out there that are going to have that already. So you should be very proud of yourself. And don't lose those dreams, like those massive, insane dreams that you're just like, okay, that's crazy. Keep them. because you never know. You never know. And it's always good to have the dreams. You've got a good firm goal and it's perfect and it's reasonable. Well, you definitely achieve it, no problem. And but those dreams are the big ones to hold on to. Never let them die, because it's a good spur in those down times that you're already aware that you might have during the fight to be a living artist and live from your art. You know, there are those days where you sort of drop down and you're like, oh my God, like, is this really worth it? Can I do this? Like, you know, maybe I'm just gonna have to give it up and work in a shop. You know, but remember the dream and you'll keep going. So where did I want to go next? We did the dream. So let's move on to your second release, which you released just last year in June. And you were, no, sorry, I'm lying. When did you release Juicebox?
I think it was January.
It was January this year. So Juicebox was released in January this year. It was the winner, the song that was the winner of the Music Expo UK video contest. And there's a long story behind this song, and I'd like you to tell it.
Yeah, it's a story about my childhood. I grew up in a house of alcohol and drugs, mostly like my mother. And I grew up around that. And I was back and forth between homes because my neighbor met me at 5 months, who is now my mother and my father. And they would take care of me, and they would make sure I had everything I could ever wish for, including now. They are so supportive and amazing. And it's crazy to me that they saw this 5-month-old baby and they're like, well, I'm gonna love you forever. And so they would try and take me out of that situation as much as possible. Along with my older sister, she would try and come and take me out of that situation. And when I was 6 years old, she sadly passed away. I never met my father. He also passed away before I was born. I am named after him, though, fun fact. And then I was adopted, and now I am a Pace, and I love this family so much, and they always had my back, and my mother is like momager all the way. She does her research at night, and that song needed to happen in order for me to grow as a person and for me to understand what happened to me and all the things I saw. And so I was in therapy, and finally when I decided I'm going to forgive my mother for that, I wrote that song, and I wanted it to help other people. And I'm helping this camp right now, Camp Mariposa, and there's amazing kids there just like me, and they're going to listen to that, and I hope it helps them too.
I really believe it will. I mean, it's brought a tear to my eye listening to that song, watching the video, even though it's not even close to anything that I've been through in my life. I find myself very lucky that I never had to witness or go through anything of that kind. And I think it's a huge message, and you're such a young person, and delivering such a massive message with such a big voice, and it's like, wow. And I really, really hope that this song gets its legs and just gets around the whole world, actually, because it's for sure going to be a massive, massive help to anybody going through similar struggles or having been through similar struggles and really feeling that darkness. And the fact that like I keep bringing up how young you are, but you are, so it's a good thing, honestly. But at your age, to have been able to take that massive step to forgive, and write this song, and not only to forgive and to be good with yourself and everything that's happened in your life and where you are now and who you are as a person, but also to want to help others and reach out is just huge. And I know that you do quite a lot of volunteer work. You've been involved in Sunshine Kids, is it called, and another organization doing some volunteer stuff.
Yeah, Camp Mariposa, and I also work with foster kids. I passed out books for them, but Camp Mariposa, I gave a speech to them, and Sunshine Kids, I helped them on their little beach trip, and God, I want to write a song for them too. Hopefully I can find, inspiration to write for them. I've helped them, and I love them. There's all such cool kids.
Wow, bless you. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, do you think that you're as you're growing, you're going to become an advocate for this? Like, if you really make a name for yourself, and you know, do you think that you'll become an advocate for all these kids that have been through similar situations to yourself, perhaps for even people suffering from addiction?
Yeah, I really want to be a voice for it. And I want to be I want to be something that they can find safety in and understanding, because I feel like not a lot of people, I haven't found an artist that writes about something similar to my experience so openly. And I just keep writing about really open stuff. So I really hope that I can help somebody like that, and they can be like, oh, she's just like me. Look where she can go. I don't have to dwell. I can grow as a person. So.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And I think this is a lot of the way that art is going, and has always been for many, many years, is how things have changed. You know, people wrote about the things that were important to them. And let's put aside the pop music. That's different. There's a different kind of music to jump up and down and dance with your friends to, and there's a different kind of music that's really telling you something. And you hit the nail on the head there, that you're writing about things that are extremely close to your heart and very openly. And it's really brave, but a really fantastic thing to do. And I think you're absolutely wonderful. So you did mention before, you've got an album coming up too. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-part album. This is the first time anybody's ever heard that I'm making an album, so it's kind of exciting. But it's a 3-part album. It's gonna have like multiple genres in it, because I listen to so many. I just fused them all together. It's gonna be like very blue and kind of gray, and then it kind of gets this light, and then at the end you're gonna finally see how I've blossomed as a person. And I may or may not have a mohawk, but that's for the future.
Can always be done. It's all you have.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when can we expect that?
I think close to around my 18th birthday. I want it to be out when I'm 17 still, just to be like, yeah, I wrote a 15-song album when I was 17.
Yeah. Those are goals. Yeah, that's excellent and totally doable. Fantastic. So that we look at your birthday's around, is October? Am I right? October. Yeah. So we're looking at, so before October next year. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be first in line for a copy of that one, please. And yeah, I absolutely love it. And I think anybody that gets onto your pages will feel the same, that like, okay, we're waiting for more. Like, definitely, that's how I feel. Just to mention to everybody that on this post, you will see in the description, if you open it all up, there's a whole load of links there. So there's Charlie's website, her Facebook page, her Instagram, her YouTube channel, and her SoundCloud. So you can go and like and subscribe and follow and do all the things that you do on those pages. It's a huge, huge support. So please do, if you're watching this, go on, like her page, subscribe to her YouTube channel, follow her on Instagram, and it's a massive support. It's going to make her feel great, and it's going to make me feel great. So go ahead and do that. Costs nothing. That's the fantastic thing. And you'll also be first in line when she's releasing new material and doing new things. So do go ahead and do that. So what about our latest trials with the coronavirus? I know that Florida was relatively hard hit. Has that affected you musically in any way? Like, has it stopped you from doing things that you would normally do?
It stopped me from doing gigs, and we have to be a little bit more cautious when going into the studio. But I do have some new stuff, like it's a live session that's coming out. We were able to do that. And then I've had so much time that I've written things that I wouldn't have written before. So honestly, it helped me a lot, which is kind of odd to say because of how terrible this thing is. But I had the time to build a whole studio out of an ice crate in my backyard. So I had time to like start producing things on my own and like figure out how to write stuff for the first time, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I were going to school all the time. So
yeah,
it's been really kind of positive.
actually gonna help. That's so cool. I mean, it's down to you as well that you can take a positive outlook on things instead of just sitting at home and watching Netflix and saying, oh, I just can't deal with this. I want to see my friends. I want to go to school. I want to play concerts and stuff like that. Yeah, to be productive gave you this great positive reaction. So it's fantastic. I can't believe you built your own studio. That's amazing. Yeah, fantastic positive vibes as well to give to other people and other musicians, because I mean, I know a lot of musicians have been really down and are still really down, particularly those that have been around for a while, they've been out gigging a lot, and all of a sudden they're gone. And this is one of the downtimes you can talk about as a working artist, that all of a sudden there's no income, there's nowhere to go, and you don't make income from doing live streaming, and it's like, oh, okay, no. So yeah, I mean, it is a difficult time, but I think, yeah, this positive outlook is the most important thing, and that's really inspiring. So thank you. You've inspired me, definitely. I'm going to pick my guitar up when we're done here this evening.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have moments of I don't want to function today. But you do, like, I feel like it's really important in this time to remember that there is going to be like the other side, and what's going to happen. What are you going to do with all this time that you have? What's going to happen afterwards? You could have like a whole album, or for me, 2 whole albums written. Like you gotta build off of things.
Absolutely, it's so true, fantastic. I absolutely love chatting to you this evening, Charlie. Thank you so much. Or should I say this afternoon, because it's actually about 2:30 in Florida. But it's been wonderful to meet you. You are just as impressive in person, virtually in person, as you are on paper. And I feel really honored to have had this chance to have a chat with you. And, you know, in a few years' time, when you're a big famous star, I can say, like, I interviewed her. I actually got the exclusive on her first album. Yeah, so you're going to be my claim to fame. Remember that. Over here in Greece. So I want to thank you. So everybody, do follow the links. Hop onto the YouTube channel for sure, or onto Music Expo UK if you'd like to see the video of the song Juicebox. It's really inspiring. You really love it. It's also there on Charlie's website. It's on her Facebook page. So just follow any link that I posted up there and you will find it. I'm going to be posting it on my own page just a little bit later on as well, so you'll be able to see it there. Charlie, thank you once again. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I would like to have another chat with you in the future, perhaps when you're about to release your album, so we could see how that's going.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. This has been great. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to follow the links. This has been Virtually Backstage with Charlie Pace. See you again soon.